Hi there, this is going to be a new episode that I'm going to do weekly. It's my best 11, and on this week's best 11, it's going to be the Premier League. So there is some big players missing out, which is maybe shocked, but I think everybody can agree this is a good 11, and the players that have missed out, well, a little bit unlucky, but for me, this would be the best 11. So let me start, obviously, by bringing in the goalkeeper. So there's quite a lot of goalkeepers we can bring in. There's Schmeichel, Van der Sar. I think Alisson is class now. I was stuck between two. It was Edwin van der Sar and the one that I went with, Peter Cech or Petr Cech. The reason why I went with Cech is because I believe he is a better all-round goalkeeper than most of them, other than Van der Sar, but he's just been around longer, probably in the Premier League, than Van der Sar has. So he is the record clean sheet holder. He's won 4 titles, I believe. So yeah, rightly so. Petr Cech deserves to be the number one in this team. Okay, so at right back, it was a tough decision. I think Trent Alexander is unbelievable. I think he's fantastic, but he's not been around long enough. And there is other right backs. Ivanovic has been good. I think Seamus Coleman has been brilliant in the Premier League area. Obviously, he hasn't won a lot. There was Lee Dixon at the start of it, but you guessed it. It's got to be Gary Neville. Gary Neville for his consistency, what he's won, 8 titles, Champions League, played in the Champions League, or being a part of a Champions League squad on other occasions as well. So for me, Gary Neville, I believe, is the best right back in Premier League football. You know, whether you count, if there's been a player that's came in maybe and he's played in other leagues, but he's only been in here for 2 years, that might be better than him. Yes, maybe so. But in the Premier League, Gary Neville has been the best right back consistently over the years. Maybe, obviously, if you compare him to Trent Alexander, if you go Gary Neville's best 2 years to Trent's best 2 years, Trent could be better, but I can't judge it on 2 years, and Trent's not great defensively, so he has to learn that part of his game as well. My first centre-back is, someone call him a Rolls Royce of a defender. You probably know who I'm talking about already. There's loads. You could have had Yapstam, Vidic, Company. There's so many, Tony Adams. Jeez, the list goes on. There's so many centre-halves that could have came in. But the first right back that I have, it's down the right channel. It's going to be Rio Ferdinand. I think Rio Ferdinand was unbelievable right back. He's won 5 Premier League titles. Do you know he had an over 80% tackle success rate in the Premier League? So it means every 10 tackles he went in, he's won more than 8 of them. That is unreal, and the lad never slid. So to be that good and not actually make slide tackles, his pace, his power at recovery. Didn't score that many goals, only scored 11 goals in the Premier League, so he could have done better on that. But his game was just mopping up, and he was unbelievable at that. I don't think there was a better defender at that. So he's the first centre half. The second centre half that goes in, you would think you'd probably have a Vidic in there, or I think Company was really, really good. Van Dijk over the last 3 years has been amazing, but 3 years is not better than what this fella's done. It's JT, it's John Terry. Now, his tackle success rate is just under 80%, so a lot of people probably would have thought he would have been better than Ferdinand at that, but so literally these defenders are not going to miss the ball, if you had these two playing. And obviously it's the England defence. Obviously it just goes to show if they had a good goalkeeper, he probably could have been a lot better. But yeah, John Terry at the back, his positional sense, he was the best defender I've ever seen in the world at defending the near post. That ball, if anybody plays the ball down the channel and try to pull it back, crossing in, he was always defending that. It's in the 6-yarder, but just at the near post, always defending it. And I've never seen anybody to this day as good as him. And that's I would say in the history of the game, he was unbelievable. So John Terry has to go in. So at left back, that was a tough position in a sense that my heart wanted to go Dennis Irwin because I just thought he was fantastic, or even Patrice Evra. Now, people would argue Andy Robinson. Now, I don't think on form there's been a better attacking left back in the Premier League over this period of time. But you could say that about most of the Liverpool players. But the left back of Goma has won 6 FA Cups, 4 Premier League titles, 5 Premier League titles, Champions League. You know, he's been probably one of the best left backs there's ever been. It's got to be Ashley Cole. He could definitely improve his attacking game. To get to the level of Robinson, but his defensive, I've never seen a left back that could defend like him. He was really, really top class. Ashley Cole goes in there. He's the only player to consistently get the better of Cristiano Ronaldo as well, which that's saying something. Now at centre midfield, I'm going to play 3 in the middle and 3 up front, 2 wingers and one centre forward. The defensive midfielder, you can go. Kante was amazing for them the period of time he played. He's playing at the top level. Vieira, you could have him, but there's only one, and he drives teams forward. I think he's the best holding midfielder the Premier League's ever seen. I think he's one of the best holding midfielders the world has ever seen. Yep, it's Roy Keane. What can you say about the man? His energy, his passing, which was massively underrated, by the way. He's one of the best passers in the game at the time. Zidane said he was the hardest player he's ever played against. He was unbelievable, and it capped off with that performance against Juventus in Turin, if we remember it. Yeah, so Roy Keane has to be the holding midfielder for me. Now the 2 centre midfielders, both in front of Roy Keane in a tree, one on the right, one on the left, and these could switch, so it doesn't really matter which side they sit on. But the first one, I've got to go Paul Scholes. I was thinking of sticking Gerrard in there, but I think Scholes and Keane could control the game, and with the player that I have coming in, we don't need a Gerrard, to be honest. Don't need him. So Paul Scholes goes in as that first one. What can you say about Scholesy? Over 100 Premier League goals. The best player Pep Guardiola has come up against. Xavi and Iniesta said the best player they've seen. Zidane said he was fantastic. He's just such a good player. Underrated a little bit by other fans. Played on the left for England, which was shocking, but he's unbelievable. So he is the midfielder. The second midfielder, I can't leave him out. I just can't. His goal scoring record for midfield was crazy good. Like you can't leave this man out. Again, I thought about Gerrard, I thought about Vieira, I thought about De Bruyne, even David Silva. 10 years David Silva played. He could have easily got in here, and there wouldn't have been any questions about it. 3 Premier League titles, But the other one, so it's Keane, Scholes, and Lampard. His goal scoring record for midfield, over 200 goals. For Chelsea, 170 odd in the Premier League, 180 or something like that. That's a centre midfield. Okay, he's a little bit attacking, but he's not an attacking midfielder as they are now. Like a Bruno Fernandes. He was more of a box to box midfielder, but mainly more on the side of attacking. So it's Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, and Frank Lampard. So the first of the attacking 3 is going to be on the left side. Now I think this man created that left-sided forward, where he cut in on the right foot. I might be giving him away. I could have had Song, Mane's been brilliant. They've been brilliant over the last couple of years. Rashford has been brilliant. You have wingers like Perez, you have Ryan Giggs who plays on the left, but the player gets in has to be, as you can see him now, it's Thierry Henry. He was ridiculous with his right foot. He could do anything. For a period of about 4 or 5 years, he's won two Premier League titles. He's won the Champions League with Barcelona. He's won basically everything. The World Cup. He has to go in. He was the best player, probably in the top 3 best players the Premier League has ever seen. So, as the centre forward, some people aren't going to be happy with this choice. Some people will, and I think he speaks for himself. I think he deserves it on merit. It's not going to be Alan Shearer. It's not even going to be Sergio Aguero, and I'm a big fan of Sergio Aguero, even though I'm a Man United fan. I thought about putting Eric Cantona in there just because of his influence, but still couldn't find a position for him. Didier Drogba, couldn't get him into this team. So the person who got in here is the second top goal scorer in the history of the Premier League. He scored a hat-trick on his debut. He's top goal scorer for Man United, top goal scorer for England. Yeah, you've guessed it. It's got to be the one and only Wayne Rooney. So Wayne Rooney goes in as the centre forward for me. I think he's the best the Premier League has ever seen. as a centre forward. I think he could do everything. He could hold the ball up, he could head, he could score, he could score from all angles, and he was probably the most unselfish player you're ever to see. But to score that many goals and not be an absolute clinical goal scorer, it just shows how good of a player he was. Absolutely. I love Van Persie as well, give him a mention, but yeah, Wayne Rooney deserves to be in there. And the last player is on the right. He's not going to be cutting in on the left foot, so it's not Salah, who has been ridiculous for the last couple of years, but he doesn't get it. It's not David Beckham, and it's a player that a lot of people probably didn't realise how good he was in the Premier League. He was good for about 4 or 5 years. He scored nearly 100 goals. He won the Champions League. He went on to become either the best or the second best player the world has ever seen, in my opinion, whether you like Messi or you're a fan of this man, Cristiano Ronaldo. I just think he was ridiculous. He carried United, he brought United back after the Chelsea dominance under Mourinho. He came into form and he was just unbelievable. So you have Cech, Neville, Ferdinand, Terry, Ashley Cole, the England back four. England definitely should have won a World Cup. Jeez, then how they didn't. You had Keane, Scholes, Lampard, Henry, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo, and if you want to put a manager in there, Alex Ferguson. You can't go wrong there. So yeah, that is my team. I hope you like it. I love doing stuff like this. I'll do other things. I'll do maybe a team before the Premier League. I can do a team of like best Liverpool players, best Arsenal, best United. Whatever people suggest it in the comments below. Whatever you'd like to see, I can do. But yeah, if you could please like, subscribe to my channel. It's Fan Banter FC down below. Just click the bell button and you'll be notified of any new videos that come out. But yeah, looking forward to doing more. But thanks very much. This is my team, my 1 to 11. Thank you.